Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the most popular trading card games in the world, comprising over 10,000 cards. The sheer quantity of cards has created a wall of complexity that scares away potential newcomers. But things are changing. Singles, Yu-Gi-Tubers, and articles, the barrier clears away day by day. The question left is, can a total noob enter the ring using nothing but the sealed product that smart people warn us fools against? Hello and welcome. I am Shimeon the Simian, jumping into sealed-only craze started by legends such as the People Shown. We will be building a Yu-Gi-Oh deck using nothing but sealed products and a budget of 60 Oz each week. No singles allowed. Unlike other sealed-only challenges, we will be allowing trading for cards because if we are going for that authentic old-school feel, trading is fundamental. Trading will have a stipulation to otherwise keep in the spirit of sealed only. We can only trade for a card if we have done our best effort to obtain it via sealed product. This means that a card only obtainable from, say, Ancient Guardians can only be traded for if the set goes out of print and we are unable to find any remaining sealed product. Our budget will be boosted by winning games while losing games will decrease our budget. Our goal is to get to $120 budget, and we fail if we ever get down to $30, because let's be real, at that point, there is no recovery. First 2 weeks of matches are not counted because success was never an option. So, let's dive in. Okay, we're jumping right in. You see, the problem is that we need to improve our interaction as quickly as possible. But with our current budget, we can't afford a Jewel Devastator box. But I think I've got an idea. I was hoping not to have to use this trick, but it looks like we've got no choice. There we go. That looks at least somewhat presentable. Don't worry, this doesn't need to last long. Alright. There we go. Now, it is time to let this go to our future. Future world! Alright, good. It worked. I'm sorry, future me, but we need this more than you do. So, let's crack it open. In case you don't know, Jewel Devastator offers a lot of important Yu-Gi-Oh stables. All of which, well, okay, not all of which are useful to us, but a good chunk of which are. Get our nice new packaging box, our nice field center cards, Pegasus, Mansion Ghost, Joey, and Kaiba. But most importantly are these staples. You've probably seen them 100 times if you've watched another sealed-only challenge, but for the sake of it, let's go have a look into here for what we want. Probably won't go through all the cards, just the ones that are useful to us. Alright, here it is coming off. Oh, come on. There we go. Oops. So, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So we'll probably be able to use that. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, which is not relevant. Ash Blossom, Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, Ghostwood and Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. I don't think is relevant enough. Red Blossoms, I actually think this will actually be useful for us. Ally of Justice Catastor would be nice if we actually had a tuner, but we've removed it. I guess technically we've got these girls, but well, the Unchained Twins are all level 3, so... Bryonak is more likely to be useful. In fact, I think I'll take him. Metaphys Horus. We'll put him in there. Black Rose, Clearwing, Stardust, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, Trishula is technically also summonable. I've got a feeling it will never be summoned though. Vermilion Dragon Mech, Abyss, Silent Honor Arc, Castel, Tornado Dragon, these are all level 4s. Underclock Taker, Lanforensis, Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow, Decode Talker, which I don't think will work for us. I'll try it though. Decode Talker Extended, Saryusha and Decode Talker Extended, I think I'll put it in. DD Crow, Effect Veiler, possibly Denko Sekka. No, we tend to have at least some spell trap. Actually, there are some cases where we don't. Inspector Border, Spell Canceller, Artifact Lancia. We can actually potentially use specifically Vanity's Fiend, Pancratops, which will replace our Guanyin, Gamma Seal. Mind Control is nice. Super Poly, we don't have targets for at the moment. Book of Eclipse, Silent Graveyard, Cosmic Cyclone, Cold by the Grave, Different Dimension Ground, Typhoon, Forbidden Apocrypha, Dimensional Barrier, Lost Wind, Heavy Storm Duster, Royal Decree, Anti-Spell Fragrance, There Can Be Only One, wait, we're a bit too tribal for that, Wiretap, Solemn Strike, and Red Reboot. As you can see, I'm expecting there to be quite a lot of changes to the deck this week. Some of these are for the side deck, some of these will be in the main deck. But I will now cut to the deck tech. Alright, deck changes for this week. Let's start with the main deck. We are cutting our Jelly Cannon, one of our Drowning Mirror Forces, Uka, Cyburst Gadget, the 3 Nimble Beavers, and the Loyal Guanyin. Getting them replaced with Cosmic Cyclone because of its advanced ability to remove problematic spells and traps, Effect Veiler for negating creature effects, Red Reboot for the fact that we're a second turn deck, so if we want to negate things, we want to be able to do it on our opponent's turn, because it's usually going to be the first turn that matters. Ash Blossom, most decks end up having something on the first turn. This card is going to be probably the most controversial, Obsessive Uvuar Loop, because it's a fiend that's also a tuner. We're going to have to see if it was worth it. Red Blossoms from Underroot, mainly because of its ability to special summon itself, and Pancratops because it's a better Guanyin. You'll notice that there's one more card here than the number of cards cut. There is a reason for it. Just wait till the side deck. From the extra deck, we are finally cutting Nightmare Griffin. It was a mistake for me to put this in. We never used it. And we are adding in Decode Talker, Saryusha Skuldred, Trishula, Bryonak, the Topologic Bomber Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, and Ally of Justice Catastor. I think that this is going to be a useful tool set. Of course, none of it is fiends, but I don't seem to have much access to fiend monsters at the moment to use. So that was our extra deck changes. And for our side deck, we are cutting our Congrates, our Forbidden Dresses, which I may end up regretting, but we'll see. I don't tend to side it in. Brain Control, and Call of the Haunted. 4. Gamma Seal, for when we need it to just remove one boss monster. Artifact Lancia, to deal with decks that rely on banishing. DD Crow, for those graveyard decks. Solemn Strike. Honestly, this is a tricky one because if we're not going first, this card sucks. Mind Control, because it's better than Brain Control. Cold by the Grave, once again, anti-graveyard strats. A single Drowning Mirror Force, and Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion for those anti-graveyard tactics. So those are the changes to the week. Probably our biggest change for a long time. So at this point, I'll have to leave you off to the games to see how well these changes went. See you soon. Alright, so this is actually round 2 of game 1. We weren't allowed to save game 1 for a lot of today's games. Our opponent's playing Salamangreats, and we started going off to try and build up our board state, as is normal for Unchained. Our opponent stops us, so we just go in for a little bit of damage and pass turn. Our opponent goes off with Mirage Thalia, which we managed to stop, and then we turned their play to destroy my creature into an Abominable Unchained Soul. Big mistake, because, of course, it's Abominable Unchained Soul. We try to get stuff from our graveyard, mess up, but we take advantage of our card effects and pop away their board, doing lots of damage. We lost game 1, by the way, and they surrender. So, round 3, we draw our hand. It's acceptable. They start comboing off, and because we don't have any Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler to try and stop this, they just keep going and going and going, and I wish I could stop that Mirage Stalio in this game, but I couldn't. They get Salamangreat Roar and Gazelle back to hand, and then set 3 pass. So I decide to special summon Hat-Tricker and then Pankratops, and then try to use a lot of things there, as you can tell. But at this point, game's pretty much over. I let them play around for a while just to make sure they definitely have game. I didn't really doubt that they didn't, but I thought it was reasonable to just wait. And at some point, I will then just skip the game because I have no real options here. And that is game 1. So this is game 2, which once again, I didn't get to be able to record the first games, but I lost that one. So another Salamangreat player. This is a different one to the first one. I think they understood the deck a bit better than the first player, but still, you can see my hand. I am limited in my options, and they had a very strong start. So I go Hat-Tricker into Sarama, attack in to get the effect, getting Unchained Soul. They impermed the Unchained Soul, which I then turned into a Soul of Rage. What I was trying to do here was trying to time the Unchained Soul to get rid of Access Code Talker. What I underestimated here was the fact that Salamangreat Roar would still be able to deal with my card, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it is sometimes. So that was the second game today, gone. Man, I feel real bad because we're just rocketing through these. This is another one where we couldn't record the first game. Our opponent is playing Prank Kids, and this is a deck where I think I just didn't really know how to play against it. They go off and do Prank Kid things, and eventually end up with a board of 4 back row. And it's just, very difficult for me to do anything against them in this case. Yeah, this is how I ended my port. And of course they got an imperm. Oh, sorry, no, that was his Pandemonium, which is arguably even better because they plus off that. So they do prank kid things. I decided to play out this round on the basis that I wanted to make sure they could actually out the Unchained Soul of Disaster. So they do a lot of prank kid things, trying to set up to get the amount of damage they need to step over the disaster. And at this point, they've got it, so they attack in. I tried to special summon... No, sorry, I think he was negated by something, but I couldn't catch what. I draw, they do some prank kid things. I turn Sarama into Unchained Soul of Disaster. Was that worth it? Debatable. My opponent then goes into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which was this game. Finally onto a game where we actually got to record the first round. My opponent opens with a Dark Dragoon. Looking at my hand, I had no real outs. Yeah. I think I'm going to just go ahead and skip to game 2. I think you can assume that we lost. In round 2, our opponent had a more normal start and went off emancipating, doing their normal things. And they end up building a very strong board state, which was essentially unoutable by us. So, yes, in week 8, after all we've done, we lost every game. What did I pull from the future for? This week was terrible! The worst part is, I'm going to have to deal with the IOU in the future, which will make that week also pretty bad. Why was everyone playing good decks? Well, whinging isn't going to change anything. We have to move forward and try harder next week. We are down $4 and haunting us will be the sudden appearance of that IOU. I am also worried about our ability to expand. Our deck is locked into Fiends a lot of the time, but we only have one Abominable Unchained Soul to work with in order to get our plays going and, well, build up. I'm hesitant to buy more Ignition Assault to try and get more, especially when Dawn of Majesty is out, because Dawn of Majesty opens up new strategies, whereas Ignition Assault, we're only hunting really for one card, and that's not very value. Next week, let's see what we can do with $46. While I have you here, please drop a comment, press one of those directional thumbs, and maybe if you like what we are doing here, subscribe. Any interaction helps feed the algorithm. See you all next week.